Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Recently, I've been getting quite a few requests to make a video on a prop, so here I am with the P-63C-5. Also, I'd like to remind you guys, I recently opened up a Discord server, so if you guys want to join that, it'll be in both the description and the comments. So what is this thing? Well, besides being my favorite prop right now, the P-63 Kingcobra is an evolution of the early World War II P-39 era Cobra. Both of them are built around the large 37mm cannon in the nose, and have a mid-mounted engine, which is quite unusual at the time. However, the P-63 never ended up seeing service because the contract for the US government at the time was for a high-altitude escort fighter, which the P-51 ended up filling that niche. However, even though it didn't see service in America, it was exported to other countries, most notably the Soviet Union and France. In the Soviet Union, it was highly regarded as a wonderful plane, and had a lot of luxuries, like radio, that some early Soviet fighters didn't have. Also, in France, it never saw service, because, Germany kinda took France. But, it did see use in the Indochina War, and was retired in 1951. Currently, you can find it in the American tech tree, the French tech tree, and as a premium for the Soviet tech tree. Now, normally, I don't lead with the full game. However, if there's one thing I want people to take away from this video, it's how to fight a Spitfire. I'm in a 2v1 right now, and I'm keeping my speed up very high. Because if I don't, or I use the vertical at all, this Spitfire is going to slam me instantly. It just turns so much better than you do, and doesn't care about being slow. And the moment that things get sketchy, I need to dive away and get out fast. And if I don't have enough speed to do that, or I'm stuck at the top of a loop, I won't be able to get away before I die. Now, if you've been paying attention, I've been teaming up with this random XP50 in order to kill this Spitfire, and he's playing it wonderfully. If we were both just turning against this Spitfire, we would be doomed to the same fate, death in a turn fight with a Spitfire. However, he's been making passes through the fight, instead of turning, which has been working out excellently, and he's able to nab the kill on the Spitfire here because he got too slow. This frees me up to then go fight this FW-190. Now, this should be a pretty easy fight, not just because I have teammates in the area, but also because if you ask me, I think the FW-190s are some of the worst fighters you can play. That's not to say you can't do well with them and you're not allowed to like them, but if I ever see one on the enemy team, I know that's going to be an easy kill for me. Most of the time, FW-190 players are also pretty bad at the game, so this isn't really much of an issue. He pulls up, and I lead and get a critical hit here. He's gonna do the 190 thing where he spins around, and my rudder's compressing, but I do end up getting the kill. Looking behind me, there's a BF-109 and a Yak-9 on the deck. If they were at the same altitude as me, it would be pretty dangerous, but I do think I could come out on top. But when they're that low and that slow, the only thing stopping me from killing both of them is my ability to aim. So, for every shot I miss, I am going to put a skill issue counter on the screen. Now, normally I wouldn't pull in front of somebody like this, but because I'm going so fast, by the time he gets guns on me, his shots are not going to hit. Also, I continue forward because I see this P-47 diving on them, so I'm setting up for him to get some strafing runs. I do pull vertical, which I normally don't do in the P-63, because it really doesn't like going vertical, but because I have so much speed and energy, I really don't mind it. I'm pulling around behind these guys now, because the P-47 is doing the exact same thing I did for him, and I'm going to get the kill on this BF-109. Yeah, I lied to you. I missed my shots because I'm bad. I do end up going vertical though, because I still have so much speed, and I'm able to pull around for this Yak-9, which I do kill. I get a hit here, and he starts leaking, and he starts rolling, but he's so slow, but it's too late, and the 37 obliterates him. As this happens, the 109 gives me another beautiful opportunity to shoot him down, and I miss again, because, oh boy, I am really sucking today. And the P-47 ends up stealing the kill even though he was diving into a tree. On to the next clip. I'm merging with this BF-109. I shoot the 37 in the head-on just in case it hits, and I'm about to show you guys a cool little concept called not playing to your opponent's strengths. I know it's a really hard concept to understand, but if you don't play to your opponent's strengths, it is a lot easier to win. This BF-109G, if I went vertical with him, would absolutely destroy me, because the P-63 gets really slow and really bricky in the vertical. However, I'm going like 200 miles per hour in the horizontal, and if this guy keeps looping, he's just going to make himself more and more slow, and it's going to give me more and more opportunities to gain ground on him until I can get a gunshot in. The BF-109 decides to switch things from doing vertical loops to ditching out into the two-circle fight with me. Which, for those of you who aren't well-versed, a two-circle fight is a nose-to-tail fight where the rate at which you can go around the circle is more important than your turning radius. However, he then goes back into the vertical and bleeds even more speed, which makes me think I can get a shot in here, so I pull my flaps out so I can turn a little bit tighter, but I'm just a little bit off. When he finishes that loop, he ends up being so slow that he has to dive to regain his energy, which is a bad thing, because a lot of the time, you don't want to be the first person who dives to get their speed back. It opens up a lot of angles for your enemy, and right here, I get super close to shooting him down. I just barely cannot pull enough lead, but he realizes that he's lost this dogfight, and he's just going to run away now. I do think that I can catch him, but I'm really not sure, because depending on the altitude, and because he's a G variant 109 with a stronger engine, it may be a close run here. But I do have a P-51 in the distance coming in, so he'll help me to be able to spray him down and get him a little bit slower. Now, because this guy is going to fly in a straight line for 5 minutes, I am going to speed the footage up a little bit. But if your idea of a good time is watching paint dry and grass grow, you can DM me on Discord for the footage, and I can send you the video of me flying in a straight line for 5 minutes. Welcome back to everybody who doesn't watch paint dry for fun. My plan here is to reach out as far as I can with these 50 cals, because they're really accurate at range. I get a hit, and he flinches, but it's not enough. So I spray again, and my plan is to try and get him to do a 180 so that I can dogfight him. I think he's just going to dive and keep running, so I open up my chat to type, but he's actually diving all the way down and I need to chase him, and I leave a really thoughtful message in chat. Now, ultimately, this wasn't a very smart decision on the 109. My plane both holds speed better and has a higher top speed than his. And if I somehow didn't catch him, my guns have such long range that I would be able to just keep on peppering him like I was before. The only problem I'm really going to have right now is the fact that my rudder compresses really badly at high speeds, so he's going to be able to roll out of the way of my shots. I miss here just because I underled, and I try and roll with him and predict his flight path, but I'm not able to do so. The P-51 ends up spraying at him, which causes him to keep turning in the direction that I needed him to, which helped out a lot. I'm able to just dive on him here, and he should have cut inside of my turn, but he does so way too late, and I'm able to pick up a hit here. A hit with the 37, which means he dies instantly. A 190 ends up diving on me later on, but remember what I said about 190 players. Instead of playing his energy, he takes a head-on and eats a 37mm round to the face. He explodes instantly and starts complaining in chat, and my teammate hits him with the most disrespectful thing I can think of. He hits him with the And honestly, I would probably uninstall the game after being clowned on like that. So why do I feel a lot of people avoid this thing? Well, for one, it's the armament. It has a goofy set of guns, but with some practice, you can do what I just did. Especially with the 50 cals, they're really forgiving. And the 37, once you learn it, is probably one of the most fun guns you're ever going to use in the game. That just leaves how it flies. The fact that it's mid-engine does make it a little bit quirky. It has unintuitive flight performance. Also, the gun pods can make it roll a little bit weird because you're forced to take them for the wing 50 cals, but I didn't notice it as much on the Kingcobras as I did on the P-39s. However, in most fighters, you'd probably want to pitch up for this 109, either because you turn better and can cut inside and get a gunshot off, or because you're a better energy fighter and can keep going vertical with him for days. But with the Kingcobra, you have to play alternatively. You can't just go vertical with everybody, because you will lose every time. And you're not a good turn fighter either. You won't turn like a Spitfire. You won't turn like a Zero. But you turn good enough to outturn like a Yak in some cases, and you outturn 109s in some cases. But the fact is that you hold your energy so well in the horizontal that that's how you're going to energy fight. And it's just mostly unintuitive for people, because people think of going horizontal as you're purely going to be turning like a Spitfire and trying to cut inside of people. So what do I recommend if you want to try the P-63? Well, I'd start with the A5 variant at 3.3. It's a bit more of a forgiving matchmaker because every once in a while you get down tiers and it just clubs everything below it. However, once you get better at the Kingcobras, I definitely recommend upgrading to the C5 variant. It has much better performance, and it really just lets you hang with things that you really wouldn't think you could otherwise. Especially if you're trying to play your energy, it really just does it so much better than the A5 variant. However, I don't think you should ever play the A10 variant. It's at the same battle rating as the C5, but with much worse performance. Finally, just remember to have fun. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but I feel like a lot of people forget that War Thunder is a game. If you're not having fun, you can just put down the Kingcobra. I'm not going to go out and hunt you because you don't like something that I like. But if you do end up liking the Kingcobra, oh boy are you going to have a lot of fun, because this thing is really good in an unconventional way. You're not going to get the same experience that you get in the Kingcobra as you will in other planes. The satisfaction of hitting the 37mm cannon on this thing is unrivaled. There's no other gun in the game that gives me dopamine more than hitting this thing. That's all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Also, I'm getting close to 100 subscribers. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll squad up with you guys or something. So, if you'd like to do that, then join my Discord. Also, the Skyray video broke 1,000 views, which honestly I didn't even think was possible this early on. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me, and it really just makes me feel happy that I'm getting my voice out there and you guys are enjoying my content. So, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep on pumping out more and more content, so keep giving me suggestions. Other than that, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.